tuning in again from the many lessons that you're going to receive from Mr. TMG. I am the marketing guru, here to bring you some revelation for your situation, not just information. So if you want to learn more lessons on different topics and subjects for you to develop and build your mind, go to my YouTube channel, Ron Harness, I am TMG. Look me up on Instagram and follow me, Ron Harness, I am TMG. Click the subscribe button so that you will receive every new teaching, training, video, motivation that I put out. I want you to be the first one to receive it. So go do it right now. Subscribe. Let's stay tuned for the next piece of revelation that you're going to get that's going to bring transformation to you. So in this video, we're going to go over questions and objections. Yes. Now, every step of the recruiting process, you're going to come across questions and objections. This is normal. A lot of the time, your prospect will just be bringing them up to sound intelligent. Now, they don't want to seem easy, so they throw out objections or questions to feel better. Now, how you respond is extremely important, because if you act defensive, you'll plant the seed of doubt in their minds. If you act offensive, you'll chase them away. Remember, our goal is education and understanding. It's not to win an argument. Our job is to help blind people see. Now, when someone brings up a negative question or they offer you an objection, all they're really doing is helping you identify one of their blind spots so you can help them see. So it's helpful to know what these things are so you can help them in eliminating them. So I'm going to give you specific tactics to help overturn objections, but the thing I want you to remember the most and spend the most time focusing on, and these are concepts. Tactics, they come and go, but concepts are timeless, and so are principles. Now, I found that objections fall into one or two categories. It's either the prospect's limiting belief in their own ability. Now, that means they aren't sure they can be successful. The second is a limiting belief in the marketing business. They are unsure if this marketing business will help them achieve their goals in life. For both categories, one of the best concepts is empathy, how you relate to people. Now, the best way I know to relate to people is to let them know you're just like they are. You have the same doubts, the same questions, the same fears, but you overcame them. Believe it or not, your story and the stories of others you know will do more for you in overturning objections than anything else. There's an old tactic called the feel, felt, found. It works with the concept of empathy. So when the prospect offers the objections, you say, hey man, I know exactly how you feel. Hey, I felt the exact same way. But what I found out is, now you can use that quite literally with the best success. Now you can also modify it according to your story and your prospect. Now, when prospects have a limiting belief in their own ability, the common objection is more like, I don't have the money, I don't have the time, it's not my thing, I'm not a salesman, I don't know anybody, or I'm too old, too young, too this, too that, I don't have experience, I failed it the last time, blah, blah, blah. Some people teach fancy approaches with, they make the prospect seem stupid and you feel smart. I don't believe in that. Hey, you got money or you got time. I'm sure you had the time to do this or the time to do that, or how long you want to have the reality of not having time in your life, right? If you want to change, you have to make some things change. Whatever that is, that doesn't work. You have to find a different approach to get people to see it from a different perspective. You would just have to take into account, how would you feel if you heard that? How would you feel if someone was to say that to you? Pretty bad, right? A better approach is to relate to the person and tell your story. See, when a person tells me, I don't have the money right now, I respond as, look, bro, I had the exact same challenge. I didn't have enough money to pay my bills, let alone start a new business. But when I thought about it, I realized that if I didn't have enough money to pay my bills now, how was I going to change that reality in the future? I was tired of being behind. I was tired of scrambling. I wanted more out of life. So you know what I did? I found a way. And it was the best decision I've ever made. Let me ask you a question. Do you really think that if you felt this was a way for you to take control of your financial future, that you can find a way to make this happen? 9 times out of 10, they'll agree. You can find a way, because where there's a will, there's a way. Now, don't focus on the exact words, but focus on the concept. I told them I was the same as they were, with the same objection. I told them about my pain, and I also told them that I found a way to solve it. As a result, we bonded, built some relationship, found some common ground. We all had the same hopes and dreams, and we made it happen together. Now, if I didn't have a personal story that would compare with theirs, I would just tell someone else's story. Remember, there are plenty of stories inside your company or in your circle or your team that can virtually relate to every situation. So when a prospect tells you their objection, you can say, hey, I know what you mean. I had a friend that had the same exact problem. Let me tell you their story. So can you see how that approach will work with all the objections based on a person's limiting belief about themselves and their lives? The concept is simple. It's proven, and the results are amazing. When people have limiting beliefs about network marketing, this category includes, hey, is this MLM? Is this one of those things? Is this one of those pyramid schemes? I'm not interested in MLM. I don't want to bother my friends, my family. How much you making? I ain't make no money last time, right? Now, let's start with the one that strikes fear in the hearts of many of those in our profession. Is this MLM or a variation of one of those things, or is this a pyramid scheme? You know all the things that they come up with. So some people actually go crazy when they hear this word. They get offended. Like, pyramid scheme? You're talking about like every corporation in the world, like the government? That's what you're talking about? Instead of going crazy, cray-cray, it's important to understand where the question comes from. See, my experience showed me that usually they knew someone that joined with no success, or they themselves have joined and didn't get the success that they were looking for. They purchased a virtual lottery ticket and it didn't pay off. Now, this scenario represents well over 90% of the people that's going to ask that type of question. The rest of those people have heard of opportunities like this, and they're rightfully skeptical of the promise of getting rich quick. Now, if they ask this type of question with any sort of emotion, I know they've been involved at some point. So I say, wait a minute. You got a story. Tell me what happened. Were you involved in network marketing at some point? And then I just let them talk. It opens them up, and it lowers their defenses, and it allows you to ask them questions about their personal experience. Let me give you an example. I'm going through my invitation prospect. When the prospect says, wait a minute, hold up. Is this one of those things, the MLMs? My reply is like, oh, you must have a story. Did you try it out at some point? Tell me what happened. That's it. I let them talk. We start the story off by saying, yeah, I joined a company a couple years ago, bought some product and lost my money. Then I asked, well, what do you think was the reason that you didn't see success? They usually reply like, well, my friend talked me into it. I really didn't have the time and I didn't have the money, and I thought way more people would join right away, but they didn't. I guess I just lost interest. So I replied, well, do you really think you gave it the maximum effort for the maximum time? They usually say, no, not really. So I asked them, do you think that network marketing was a problem, or maybe your timing wasn't right? They probably say, you know what was probably the timing. See the difference? I've had hundreds of these conversations, and all of them are different. But if you ask the right questions and are friendly through the process, you have a strong opportunity to help them get rid of their blind spots and take a look at what you have to offer. Now, in addition, you can actually relate to them by saying, hey, you had the same objection initially, and tell them how you overcame your personal objection. Now, when the person uses the word pyramid scheme with me, I always say, no. Pyramid schemes are illegal, and I wouldn't ever be involved with something illegal. When people ask this with no emotion attached, I would say, yes, this is network marketing. Do you know anything about it? Again, the whole goal is to answer questions and to wait for answers. From those questions and those answers, I ask more questions because my goal is to educate them and to provide understanding. To hit you with the, I don't want to bother my friends. See, that's slightly different. But again, I relate to them and tell them my story or someone else's story. And I ask questions like, so what makes you think you'll be bothering your friends? If you truly believed in a product, would you let your friends know about it? And if I can show you a way that you can share this product with others without feeling or sounding like a sales pitch, will that help you? And the last in this category is, how much are you making? Now, if you're making money, this is a great question. If you ain't making money yet, your answer depends on how long you've been involved. If you're brand new, just tell them, hey, look, I just got started. If you've been around for a while and you're not making big money yet, you can tell them that you're working part-time and you're really excited about your future. Now, you can also say, hey, you're excited about your future with this company because you knew things weren't going to change unless you did something different to change your situation. Another way to answer it is to tell your story and then tell stories of the people that you know are making the real good money. So I would even suggest setting up a phone conversation with those people so they can feel more comfortable about the opportunity. Now, all of this takes practice, but if you get the concepts down, you'll find it becomes easier and easier over time. Now, the other thing that should encourage you, you only have a handful of the same objections for the rest of your career. So there's nothing else new. What I've listed in these videos is about all there is. Remember, our goal is education and what? You got it, understanding. This is a part of the process. That goal a reality. Get it.